you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping like a pig. I told you they don't like it, watch him kiss a hissy fit. You probably think I'm pulling up the way I'm riding with my clique, but we just sliding through the city like what stage we hit it next. Bullets riddled up, bodies dropped, murder scene. Really sad to say, but he was only 17. Now his mind gone, traumatized, got what he seen. Family try to help, but it's too late to intervene. Society's in the cave, but we can't believe the things that happen all in these streets. No decrease, cause we in the streets. Watch the stop, cause I can't seem to hold my peace.
Go live on them. What we gon' do? Go live on them. What you gon' do? Go live on them. What we gon' do? Go live on them. Do it for the book. Do it for the book. Let's do it for the gram. Let's do it for the gram. Let's do it for the snap. Let's do it for the snap. Squad. Wanna march in the street, go live on them. Wanna vibe to the beat, go live on them. Wanna preach, wanna teach, go live on them. Wanna spit that heat, go live on them. I go live when I'm about to drop jewels. Wanna go live, then here's a couple rules. Don't film fights, don't entertain fools. Some of y'all go live trying to give clues. Flex for the gram, show the feds every move. And you wonder why your face all on the news? Let's get it in though, with all of your friends though. In 5, 4, 3, 2, lights. Camera. Action. Yo, Blaze. Go live. I raise lions roar, I raise lions roar. Hell on earth, my quiet storm, right on Zion's door. With my phone out in a girl's car. When I am bored, they judge me like on World Star, but I am more. Talk off my phone, buzzing for my people. Now my walk off like Joe Buttons into Migos. We more than a sequel, got photos to preview. Switch to selfie mode, so the whole world can see me, you. Go live, go live, go live, go live, go live on them. What we gon' do? Go live on them. What you gon' do? Go live on them. What we gon' do? Go live on them. Do it for the book. Do it for the book. Let's do it for the gram. Let's do it for the gram. Let's do it for the snap. Let's do it for the snap. Squad. Squad. Go live, go live, go live, go live. Pull the phones out, 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 go live, pull the phones out, go live, pull the phones out, go live, go live. Ooh, welcome to the jungle, this my home, black. Let's go live, it's showtime, create my own chat. Watch Blaze cook, lift a boom, microphone rap. My Facebook, and I don't mean my iPhone app. Mean, when the lion roars, I'm mad at y'all. I press record, I wave red like a matador. The camera on, from the mobile shares to buy a car. Well, I am on, follow Blaze the lion bar. PO's over, about to jump through your screen. Time to go live, go hard for the team. Got my views up like Drizzy, I mean. Vibe with a G, all eyes on me. Got something to say, but first let me pray. Cause when I grab my phone, I get in my zone. Keep it 100 from the time I log on. Put down the Draco, put down the lane. We lit over here, we sit over here. Mumble rappers can't even sit over here. Pull out the I-7 or the S8. FB or IG, yeah, they both straight. Just hit that go live, 5 seconds in your Gucci. Get those Spillsbury boys, time to make a movie. Selma the sequel, I'm about to leave the people. Lights, camera, action, what's your reaction? Go live on them. What we gon' do? Go live on them. What you gon' do? Go live on them. What we gon' do? Go live on them. Do it for the book. Do it for the book. Let's do it for the gram. Let's do it for the gram. Let's do it for the snap. Let's do it for the snap. Squad. Jamming on stage with my phone in my hand. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm stopping. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm t
Yo. What's going on, everybody? Hold on, let me get that. That music. 6. Hold on, let me get that. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. How's it doing? How's it going, everybody? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Hopefully everybody can hear me. We are live. We are live. We are live. Yes, sir. We are live. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Popp right here, and you are tuned in to another episode of Chop It Up with Popp. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, what's good? What's good? I see everybody on the check-in. All right, all right. So, we are in episode number 2, and we about to get it popping once again, baby. Yes, sir. Let me just do a quick sound check. You know, this is only episode 2, so we still working out some kinks. Okay, somebody's telling me there's feedback. Okay, there's feedback. Hold on. Let me see if I can get rid of that feedback. Check, check. Can everybody hear me better now? Can everybody hear me better now? Appreciate y'all working with me on these little kinks here. All right. Okay, good. Looks like we got the sound finally to where it need to be. That's what's up. All right, everybody. First and foremost, I want to welcome everybody once again to my talk show, Chop It Up with Popp. I thank you guys for riding with me. I told y'all that this was going to manifest. You know what I mean? For those who've been following me for a while, you know I've been talking about doing this show. And now here we are in episode 2. So thank you all for being here. So yeah, we finna get it popping today, man. The episode 2 is all about relationships. Relationships. Here's the thing, I cannot hear myself. Hold on one moment. Check 1. Here's the thing, I cannot hear myself. Hold on. All right. If y'all get any feedback, let me know, please. Like I said, I'm still trying to work out some things here. Yeah, I gotta keep that low. All right, so yeah, man, let's get it. Relationships. So we are going to talk about relationships. Relationships in every form. That goes for relationships romantically, relationships business-wise, relationships friendship-wise. You know, every type of relationship, because they all have to be discussed. Because you know what I mean, all type of relationships are important, and all type of relationships utilize a lot of the same principles. All right, so today should be a very interesting show because I do have a guest that's going to be on as well, which I am trying to navigate that too, so we can bring our guests in. All right, so yeah, relationships. So listen, first of all, let me first shout out some sponsors for tonight's show. All right, first and foremost, you know that this show is also definitely sponsored by Ice Squad Entertainment. Ice Squad Entertainment, indie record label out of Miami, Florida. I'm the CEO and founder. That is the home of the group Ice Squad. One word, ICESQUAD. The I stands for integrity, character, and excellence. That's what Ice Squad Entertainment is bringing to the entertainment industry. Right now we're attacking music. We're attacking it from the music aspect. So you can look out for our music online at icesquadent.com. That's www.icesquadent.com. All right, we got some really dope music on there. Check it out. Throughout the show, you know what I'm saying, we'll mention some other sponsors as well, but definitely this is brought to you by Ice Squad Entertainment. All right, so relationships. So let's start it off like this, man. You know, one thing I want to say. Originally the show was set from 8 to 10, but I set it from 8 to 9:30 because I want to leave that. I want to kind of wrap it up by 9:30 so that extra 30 minutes can be there in case, you know, it's getting real good and we do need a little time to go over, or, you know, I just want to leave a little space there for anything unexpected. You know what I mean? I don't want to just cut it like that, so we have that little wiggle room. But by 9:30 we officially done. If you want to hang out for a few minutes afterwards, then we have the broadcast going till 10. All right, so relationships. First of all, relationships in the most obvious form would be a relationship romantically, you know, between a man and a woman who meet each other and decide that they want to be romantically involved. So that's the first type of relationship. You know, we can touch on that. So me myself, I'm married. I've been married now for about 10 years. This is actually marriage number 2 for me. So, you know, I wouldn't call myself an expert on relationships, you know what I mean? Because I done messed up a few of them for sure. But through all the trials and tribulations, I definitely also have learned a few things in the midst of it. Still learning, still growing, obviously. But I think that throughout my life and the things that I've experienced, I've been able to go through enough things to where at least I can help somebody if necessary. All right, so relationships on the dating scene. So dating has definitely changed. You know what I mean? That's real. Dating has definitely changed. When I was like heavy in the dating scene, it was really different. It was no social media, so it wasn't as easy to access somebody and follow them and, you know, get their whole life story and see what they all about before you even approach them. When I was dating, it was all about, you know what I mean, just seeing who you like and stepping to them, you know, face to face, one-on-one, you know what I mean, because we had to get the number, you know what I mean. When I was dating, we had to get the phone number. It was no other way to communicate if you didn't get the phone number, you know what I mean. But now you don't even need to get the phone number. You could just, you know what I mean, use your Twitter fingers and boom, holla. You know what I mean? You don't even need to have no personal information about the person, no phone number, address, nothing. You know what I mean? You can just hit them up on social media. So I think there's a big, huge gap right there in the dating scene just based off that fact with technology. You know what I mean? You know, if you wanted to like holler at somebody, You know what I mean? It started off on the phone conversation, and then you linked up, you went out, you know what I mean? You hung out with the person, etc., etc. You know, but I think with the dating scene now, it has pros and cons. It has pros and cons. You feel me? Like, I would say one of the pros of it is that you have a chance to really sit back and observe people, and it could be somebody that's not necessarily in your inner circle or in your day-to-day life. It could be somebody in a whole nother state, a whole nother country. It could be somebody that you never come across, but you can actually observe them from afar and kind of feel their vibe to see if that's somebody that you would be interested in. So to me, I think that's a plus, because you never really had that opportunity before. You had to kind of just jump out there and take a chance. One of the cons, I would say, is that it's too many people. You know what I mean? It's too many people. So it's hard to filter, like, really who's worth your time, who's genuine. You know what I mean? You know, is this somebody I should even be communicating with? You know what I mean? Some people right now, we got like thousands of friends online, on Facebook. Me, myself, I got like almost 5,000. You know what I mean? And I don't know all these people personally. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so many people all at once. It's like you don't really know who to take serious. So I would say that's a con. One thing too, I kind of find kind of funny is the infidelity aspect of relationships when it comes to technology and social media. Like back in the day, if you was a cheater, I guess you could say it was a lot easier because, you know, a woman or a man had to go through a lot to really discover what you was doing. You know what I mean? They had to like literally catch you like red-handed. You know what I mean? Like you had to like, somebody had to tell on you, or they had to catch you somewhere, or know somebody that knows somebody, etc. Word of mouth. But now it's like I don't even see how people even attempt to try to cheat in a relationship with social media, because I don't get it. Everybody has a Facebook page. Everybody has Twitter. Everybody has some kind of social media account. So how can you really lie? Because infidelity is really about lying. How can you really have a full-fledged relationship based on lies when all your information is just a click away? You know what I mean? And then if you try to hide your social media information, that's like a red flag in my book. So how people still getting away with infidelity, getting away with cheating on their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their spouse, whatever, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like old school. I just don't see how it's even possible with all this technology. Like, I mean, you can get caught in a lie instantly just from a click. You know what I mean? You say you don't got nobody, but then all they got to do is just go through your profile and they can see your pictures with the people that know you. You know what I mean? Because if you in a relationship, your significant other is going to be interacting with you online. You going to have outings and take pictures together. You know, and what you going to do? Never take pictures? You know what I mean? I mean, it's I don't see how y'all do it, man, but obviously it's people that's still doing it because it's still a big epidemic of infidelity, people cheating, etc., etc. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe somebody got to school me on how that go now, but I think it's amazing to even be able to do stuff like that in this day and age still. Social media should have just killed all cheating. That should have just deaded that off rip, but it actually enhanced it somehow, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. So, you know, in the dating scene, you know, I've been out of that scene for a while, so ain't too much really I can touch on it. But one thing I do know is that you have to date somebody, you have to spend time with somebody to even know if you want to take the relationship further. You know what I mean? So that's something you have to do. Ultimately, my opinion is that marriage should be the goal. You know what I mean? Marriage should be the goal. That's how I feel about the situation. You know what I mean? That's something that was kind of ingrained in society from way back, but somehow we kind of shifted away from that, and marriage has started to be not as important. It's kind of like obsolete in a sense, like, you know what I mean? Like just dating and having kids and having a baby mama or baby daddy seem to be what the new normal is in this day and age. And I don't know how we got there. I don't know how we got there. I mean, I think that's an interesting convo in itself. How did we get from marriage being the primary status in society, or at least the primary goal in a relationship, to now where it's not even a factor anymore? How do we get there? Anybody got any thoughts on that? How do we get there? How do we get there to where marriage is not as prevalent in Western culture as much as it was, at least I would say about maybe 30 years ago? What do you think happened? What do you guys think happened? Talk to me. Because we know it's obvious. I mean, it's almost like if somebody don't have a baby mama or baby daddy, it's shocking. It's almost expected now when you meet somebody, right? So who's your baby mama? So who's your baby daddy? Nobody ain't asking who's your husband, who's your wife. It's like, okay, who's the father of your kids? Who's the mother of your kids? You know, that's the norm now. So, you know, yeah, man. What are y'all thoughts on that? I appreciate everybody checking in. I see y'all. You know what I mean? Hey, oh, and I decided not to do the IG thing no more because it was just too much multitasking. I really couldn't handle the back and forth with the Facebook and IG. So right now we just gonna ride with Facebook. Feel me? So what up, Moses? I see you. D Wayne in the building. I see you. Milner Ruff, how you doing, brother? Yeah, so anybody got any thoughts on that, on what it is that has kind of helped, that made society transition to the to where it is now, where marriage is not as valuable or important? Man, tell me. And if you don't know by now, the Chop It Up with Popp show is a very interactive show. It's interactive. It's about the people. You know what I mean? It's not just about my opinion. It's about us as society, as a community, you know what I mean, discussing these issues and coming to a common understanding on them, you know what I mean? In no way, shape, or form do I profess to be an expert in anything, you know what I mean? But I do, you know, think that sharing your experiences is important because it can help somebody, and you never know. You never know who it can help. You never know. So, any thoughts on that, on the whole marriage taboo situation? No? Okay. Well, I think that one of the main reasons why it's so taboo now is because we have made ourselves too accessible in the dating scene, to where marriage is not even a requirement. It's not even something that is put out there as the goal. You know, dating is for a purpose. You know what I mean? It should be a purpose behind dating. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we just hanging out just to be hanging out until I get tired of you? You know what I mean? Like, what are we actually doing here? Because if you're not dating with a purpose, then you're not really dating. You're not really dating. You are just hanging out with friends. You know what I'm saying? Dating is a prerequisite to marriage. That's what it's always been. It's also known as courting. You know what I mean? Courting was always the first step before the engagement. And I just think we've gotten so far away from that for some reason. So, you know, how we got there is really the question. Because what happens is that whatever reality we adopt as adults, we will pass that reality on to our children. We will pass that mindset on to our children. And then it just continues to perpetuate itself from generation to generation, to where whatever was originally the mindset is no longer. We can see that in so many different things in this world, where we look at the way the world is now, and things that were unheard of 20, 30 years ago is like, no big deal. It's no big deal now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's no big deal, to get half naked and just put it on the internet for everybody to see. Millions and millions of people. It's no big deal to, just videotape yourself, pretty much committing crimes and then just blasting it all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? For everybody to see. I mean, it's a lot of things that just is not the same anymore. And it's because of how things were changed in the mindset of the adults. And we passed it on, and it was passed on to children who grew up with that mindset, who then passed it on to their children, and so on and so forth. So the fact that marriage is no longer, like quote unquote a big deal, I think is really because of that same principle, how, the culture has shifted because the adults stopped making it a priority. And now kids don't worry about it either. I think when we think about marriage right now, the main thing we think about is the wedding. That's like the main thing that's focused on is the wedding. Gucci Man and Keisha, I can't pronounce her last name, whatever, but they just had their wedding, and it seemed like that's what it was all about. It's all about the wedding. Like, that was everybody's focus on how big the wedding is, not if, what kind of husband will he make for her? What kind of wife will she make for him? What can we learn from their relationship? You know what I mean? I mean, there are discussions about that, but not as much as the discussions about the wedding. So, it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. So, I think that nowadays men are not as concerned about marriage as women are. I mean, it's kind of like been that way for a long time, but there was a time when men were looking forward to being husbands, looking forward to taking a wife, looking forward to going to the father of the woman and saying, hey, I want to marry your daughter. I want to take this woman to be my wife. Like, that was a big deal. You know what I mean? That used to be a real big deal. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all can even remember a time where if a young man and a young woman had a baby out of wedlock, like, the whole community was like, okay, so when is the wedding? You know what I mean? Like, that was the norm. Okay, so when is the wedding? Because that wasn't the norm. That wasn't like the thing to do. That wasn't what was popular. That wasn't, okay. But now it is. So, I don't know how we can get back to it. I think the only way is really just setting more examples for our children, letting them see healthy, stable, strong marriages, which is a mission in itself. It's a journey. But if we do remember the fact that the kids are watching, and we're kind of downloading into their mindset what it means to be an adult and what it means to even be a husband or a wife, I think if we kind of continue to reflect on that, it will kind of help us work harder at our marriages. It will help us work harder at our marriages, because, I can honestly say that if I didn't have children, I think that my stamina in the rough times would have not been as strong. You know what I mean? Having the children kind of helps you put things in perspective, because you recognize that whatever is happening, they're watching, and whatever's happening, it will impact them as well. So it kind of helps you kind of stay focused a little bit when you're not focused. You know what I mean? So yeah, if anybody got any thoughts on that, feel free to chime in. So what are some fears? Maybe let's talk about that. What are some fears that maybe hinder people from wanting to take a relationship beyond just baby mama, baby daddy, or just you know, we live with each other, but you know, we ain't finna marry each other. It got to be some fears involved. Now I can't really speak from a woman's perspective, because most of the time, from what I see, I never really see a woman in a relationship that the man wants to get married and the woman don't. Usually it's the man don't want to get married, and then the woman, you know, eventually she take the same attitude as the man and be like, well, I ain't worrying about it. He ain't worrying about it. I ain't worrying about it, type of thing. But from the man perspective, I would have to say that, you know, before I got married, I would say one of the fears would be really making that final commitment, that final step, because it's like once you take on that woman as your wife and she take on your last name, it's like a higher level of accountability that you now have towards her. I mean, let's be real. As boyfriend and girlfriend, there's not really much accountability overall in a relationship like that. We have an agreement between each other that, yeah, we're going to be together, we're going to be committed to each other. But outside of that, as boyfriend and girlfriend, there's really no real accountability outside of that. Because guess what? As your boyfriend, I could leave tomorrow. I could walk out the door tomorrow. And yeah, you'll be upset. Yeah, you'll be sad. But really, what can be done about it? Absolutely nothing. Because there's really no legal commitment. There's no real accountability outside of each other. You know what I mean? You'll be mad at me. You'll probably have some of your friends mad at me. But you can't do nothing. You can't call nobody. You can't call the judge. You can't call the courthouse. You can't do nothing. If I want to leave, I could leave. If you want to leave, you can leave. Think about it like this. When somebody is in a conversation and they say, oh, my boyfriend broke up with me, or my girlfriend broke up with me, the people that's in that conversation that's hearing that, it don't hit them the same way as if you was to say, oh, my husband divorced me or left me, my wife left me, or my wife divorced me. Like, that hit people way harder. If you was to say a statement like that, you know, my wife left me, or my wife divorced me, or my husband divorced me, my husband left me, it hit people like harder, like, whoa, oh my gosh, really? That, you know, that, like, people understand the severity in that and the level of accountability there. But when you say, yeah, my boyfriend broke up with me, or my girlfriend broke up with me, the average person attitude is like, oh man, that's messed up. All right, well, get over it. You'll find another one. Don't worry about it. You know, these things happen, blah, blah, blah. But why is that? Because subconsciously we know that in marriage there is a much higher level of accountability all around. With the government, with each other, with God, with our families. There's a higher level of accountability, and I think that fear is kind of, the fear of that level of accountability is what keeps some people with one foot in and one foot out. See, as long as I call myself your boyfriend, I have an escape route. I have an exit that I can just go out of at any given moment, and nobody can't say nothing about it. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody can't make me do nothing, because we have nothing. You don't have my last name, nothing. If I was sick, or you was sick, and you my boyfriend or girlfriend, and I go to the hospital, and there's some major situation going on, and a decision got to be made, just because I say I'm your boyfriend, to the hospital, they don't care. They don't care that I'm your boyfriend. I don't have no rights to nothing. But if I say I'm your husband, oh, that's a whole different story. I could sign papers now. I could make decisions now. You get what I'm saying? There's a different level of accountability in that. And I see, okay, D. Wayne chimed in. He said, some fear that they don't have the ability to stay faithful. I would agree with that too. I would agree with that too. If I know that I'm not 100% ready to stop messing around with other women, I'm definitely not finna ask you to marry me, because now I'm finna be cheating as a married man, which we know in society, again, that's a higher level of accountability. That's now adultery. That's adultery. It's funny. When you cheating on your boyfriend or girlfriend, there is no other word for it other than cheating. There's no other word for it other than cheating. You know what I mean? But there's a whole nother word for it when you're in a marriage. It's called adultery. Adultery is even in legal documents. You'll even find that term adultery in legal documents in family court. You know what I mean? In marriage court for that deal with marriages and stuff like that. You'll find that term adultery in legal documents, but you'll never find the word cheating, because they don't care what a boyfriend and girlfriend is doing on that level. It's just not looked at as the same. But yeah, being faithful is a big part of it. People are afraid of that. So guess what, ladies? Guess what, men? If your significant other has an issue with marriage and they so afraid of being married to you, the person that they claim every day, oh, I love you, I'm committed to you, I want to be with you forever, but I'm not ready to marry you, I don't want to marry you, then you got to ask yourself, why is that? What is the fear? What is the fear? Now, I hear some people say, oh, well, I'm not financially stable, I'm not financially sound, I'm going to wait till I get my money right, I'm going to wait until I get this right and that right. And I could respect that. But I've found that in most cases that I'm waiting to get right, that get right never happened. That get right never happened, because there's never really no set goal in the get right. Like, it's never, okay, my goal is to reach this certain level, and I'm already putting steps in place to get to that level so that I can now be in a position to do what I want to do for you as your husband. Or, that's okay, you got a plan. But to just say, oh, I'm trying to wait till I get, I'm get more money, or get myself together a little more, get that bread up, blah, 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 whatever. To me, that sounds like a cop-out, because you have no plan. Because the marriage goal is not really there. So you know what? Let's just play with this thing for as long as possible and just keep it going. You know I love you. I'm here, right? Right? That's the type of things we hear. But if you think about it, if you ask most married couples, they will tell you that their marriage did not start off with everything perfectly in place. It didn't start off with the perfect house, the perfect car, the perfect job, the perfect income. It didn't start off with that. You know what I mean? But what it did have is it had two people that was willing to build together, who may have had a little bit of nothing together to make a little bit of something. You know what I mean? And that actually is what helped them grow closer together, that process, because they had to do it together. You know what I'm saying? Because their commitment went beyond their circumstances. The commitment they had to each other went beyond their circumstances. You already doing life together when you're dating. If you're dating, with the goal of marriage, if you're dating to like really stay committed and be together forever, I mean, you're already doing life together. That's why, to me, like, what's the point of getting engaged if you really don't have a plan for an actual marriage? These 10-year engagements, like, what is that? What is a 10-year engagement? You might as well have just keep dating, and then when you say, okay, I'm ready to marry this woman, now let me propose, because I'm ready to marry her. That's when you should propose. Why get engaged and just let it ride out for years? What's the point? Y'all still just boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, I guess you can call it fiance at that point, but guess what? The level fiance and boyfriend and girlfriend have the same level of accountability And it's the same status in this country. It's just really fiance is really a fancy word for boyfriend and girlfriend, because it just says I intend on marrying this person. But then when you find out how long that engagement been, it kind of just brings it right back to boyfriend and girlfriend. Because if it's been years, what is different now than when you were just boyfriend and girlfriend? Absolutely nothing. So I think that, you know, engagement should be done when you know that you're ready to marry the person, because it's obvious you love the person before you get engaged. So it's not to prove that you love them. If you're really about that commitment life, then that asking them to marry them is just basically saying, hey, I'm ready to do this. Here's the plan. This is the date. Let's get it. You understand? That's when you're taking the relationship serious. You know what I mean? But, you know, I mean, then again, it goes back to mindset. If we instill these type of things in our kids, they'll grow up with that mindset. See, right now, to be honest with you, and no shade, what we showing our kids right now is that it's cool to be a baby mama. It's cool to be a baby daddy. It's cool. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. How we probably not literally telling them that, but we demonstrating that. Our attitude towards it. They hear the conversations that adults have. You know what I'm saying? They see everybody with kids and no spouse. We got to change that. We got to change that, man. You know? Okay. Kufrey, the homie Kufrey is in the audience. He said you'll never be 100% ready. It's on the job training. Absolutely. It's on the job training. I love that, bro. I love that. Yes, on the job training. And I don't ever think you ever actually become certified. That's going to be on the job training till y'all grow old and die. Because every day it's like you're growing. You're still learning to be better than you were before. You know, both the one man and the woman. You understand? So like, yeah, man, on the job training. I like that. I like that. Because there's levels to this, man. It's levels to this. So like, that's the funny thing. It's like when somebody is dating somebody, sometimes it feels like, okay, I have to be 100%. I have to know 100% everything that I'm in store for with this person before I will make that commitment. But guess what? Right when you think you know everything about that person, right when you think you've learned everything about that person, you've experienced everything that you can experience with that person, and then you go ahead and get married, then you start finding out, wow, I didn't know everything. There are things that I did not expect or that I did not understand yet about this person. You understand? And don't let kids be in the picture, because when kids get in the picture, that actually changed the whole dynamic sometimes of the relationship. And the things that were a priority are no longer, and the things that were not a priority are now a priority. So many things can change. You know what I mean? When your responsibility level change, you know what I mean? The relationship changes. So you'll never be 100% ready. You're absolutely right, Crew Frey. It is on the job training. So let's start, you know, giving our young people the real deal about this thing, man. That listen, you'll never be 100% ready. You know, you should have a goal in mind when you're dating somebody. You know what I mean? If you're gonna call yourself boyfriend and girlfriend, what does that mean? You know, what is the end game to that title? And then if you want to, and then when you go to the next level, engage, what is the end game to that title? You know what I mean? Sometimes I think we throw around these titles just to pacify, you know, people. A dude may just say, yeah, you my girlfriend, so that she can stop worrying about it. And because, you know, a lot of times people want to identify what this relationship is so that they can know what to claim, so they don't look stupid. So sometimes a dude say, yeah, you my girlfriend, or you my lady, whatever. You know what I mean? and they throw it out there, but they'll throw the name out there, throw the title out there, but not really the commitment. Same thing with engagements. Are men just proposing sometimes to women just so she could shut up and he can prove to her that he's serious about the relationship because he gave a new title to the relationship called engaged? Then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, you still got that same title. You still ain't Mrs. Nobody. You understand? And then husband and wife, same thing. What is that? What is the end game for that? What does that title mean? A lot of people jump into those titles without really knowing what it means or what the commitment level that comes with that. You know what I mean? We got to remember, man, adults, we are the blueprint for the young people that's watching us. The attitude and disposition that we take towards relationships, we are passing them on to our children. We're passing them on to our nieces and nephews. We're passing them on to all of the young people that we encounter. And keep in mind that we're in a technology age. So some of the people that you have influence over may not be people right around you in your immediate circle. If you're a public figure, if you somebody who has a following or have a huge network, you probably got a lot of young people following you and observing your life. So yeah, what you do matters. You know what I mean? Because we are planting seeds, and the seeds that we're planting are in the soil called the next generation. We're planting those seeds. We're helping them grow. I guarantee you a lot of the way you think right now about relationships is because what you observed when you were growing up. You observed your mom and daddy relationship, your uncle and auntie's relationships, your granddaddy, your grandma relationships, your brother and your sister's relationships. You know what I mean? You observe these things and you begin to develop your mindset of what they're supposed to look like and what they're supposed to be like. Now, you either saw things that you felt was normal and it became normal to you as well as an adult, or you saw some things that you recognized was not normal and was toxic, that now because you knew that growing up, you now have made sure that you don't operate in those things as an adult. So, you know, but it's still all based on what you observed. So we are no different as adults. Young people are also observing us. You understand? So it's vital to remember that. It's vital to remember that. I want to bring on one of my guests. I want to bring on one of my guests here in a minute, but before I do that, I want to stop right quick for a sponsor break. Another one of our sponsors for Chop It Up with Popp, this episode 2, is Taylor Loving Care, aka TLC. This is a business for doggy care, for if you need somebody to watch your dog, babysit your dog, walk your dog, take care of your dog while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. You know, dog sitter, I think, is another term that people use, dog sitter. This gentleman here in the picture, his name is Matthew Taylor. He's the owner of this business called Taylor's Loving Care. You can check him out if you need somebody to watch your dog. I believe he is in the Miami area, South Florida area, so you can check him out. You can contact him at 786-281-7908. That's 786-281-7908. And you can follow him on IG and Twitter at Doggy Care TLC. That's at Doggy Care TLC. Taylor's Loving Care. All right, he will take care of your dog, and he will make sure that the doggy is in good shape. Also, one thing that he prides his business in is his core values are respect, integrity, character, and honesty. So those are all great principles. You know, so hey, he's gonna look out for your dog with integrity, character, and honesty. All right, he'll take him to the doggy park and keep him overnight. So yeah, if you're going out of town, you need somebody to watch your dog, holla at Taylor's Loving Care. All right. So yeah. So back to what we was talking about relationships. So I want to bring in a guest. His name is Dwayne Leward. He is a good friend of mine, and this young man is married to a beautiful woman. Her name is Crystal Leward. They have 3 beautiful boys. 2 of them are twins, and he's doing a great job as a family man. I knew him when they were dating, and this is the only woman I ever seen him date. I found out that they've actually been dating since high school, so you know, they definitely had a true level of commitment in their relationship, which led to an end result of marriage with children, which is the ultimate blueprint. But I'm sure that you know, it wasn't a cakewalk. You know, it wasn't a cakewalk, I'm sure. But you know, I want to bring Dwayne in so he can kind of chime in and touch on that a little bit, about some of the things that he had to experience in his relationship. But you know, the thing about it is that, you know, his story is really all about one woman. For most of his life, it's just all about one woman, and that's very commendable. So Dwayne, I call him Dwayne. I want to try to bring you in on this thing, man. I wish I would have had a chance to kind of experiment with it a little bit, bro, because I am trying. I haven't tested it yet, but I am finna try to see if I can bring you in. In the meantime, while I'm trying to bring Dwayne in, if anybody want to chime in on anything we discuss, any thoughts on the relationship thing, by all means, feel free. And I'll go ahead and try to bring you in now, Dwayne. Just give me a moment. Okay, so you know what? I think that Dwayne, you know what? I think that I was supposed to bring you in the beginning, but let me try something real quick. Hold on one second. Let me try something. We gonna work this out, man. Y'all just bear with me, because again, I am still working out some kinks here. This is only episode 2, so yeah, I'm really trying to make this work. All right, so for some reason it looks like I cannot bring it in that one, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to see what options I got here. Okay, I'm gonna try something here, Dwayne. So you guys may see another. Hold on. Bear with me. So listen, so what are you guys' thoughts on you know, we still talking about dating and then transitioning from dating into marriage. So we were talking about some reasons why, you know, that's not as popular as it was before. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't as popular as it was before. And now it's not even the norm anymore. So any thoughts on why marriage is not the norm anymore? Any thoughts on what it is that caused that? To not be the norm anymore? Alright, so y'all talk to me. Any thoughts on that? I know some people said fear. Some people still want to cheat. And then we talked about fear of being ready. So what are your thoughts on that? Alright, so you're going to see another window open up in the group. And Dwayne, do you see that other window in the group? It's another window that opened up. If you can if you can go in there, if you see it. I don't know if you see it. You should have got a notification. Should have got a notification. I appreciate y'all patience. We just trying to bring in Dwayne, our special guest of the night. Dwayne, are you able to see that other window? No, just this window. Okay, go out of this one, and then you should see another window. Okay, there you go. All right, I see you. Okay, hold on, let me finish that. Okay, let me see if I can. So you didn't get a notification for your video? I apologize for that, guys. Okay, so trying to see if I can bring you in, Dwayne. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to work that out, because it's not letting me do it, bro. I apologize. All right, so I'm gonna close that window. We're gonna go back to the original window, and Dwayne, I'm gonna allow you, if you can, to just I know it's kind of hard, but I allow you to just go in and okay, just go in and type your responses, bro. Alright, I'm finna shut that one down. Shut this one down. Alright. I apologize, guys. I am the host and the producer of the show, and the technician and the cameraman. I'm doing this all one-man show right now, so y'all just bear with me. But I do want Dwayne to chime in. And be able to kind of talk to y'all a little bit, let y'all know a little bit about, you know, his experience. So I'm gonna just ask you a few things. So Dwayne, you married to Crystal, right? And if you don't mind, would you mind sharing your age? Because I think that'll be a very key part of it too. Is your age. If you're still with me in the original group, let me know you're there. Dwayne, come back to this group, Dwayne. All right. All right. So okay, there he is. All right, he's in. Okay, he's 32. If y'all can see Dwayne speaking in the group, he's 32 right now. And how old is your wife, Dwayne? Tell us how old Crystal is, and where did y'all meet? You don't have to. I know you typing, so you don't have to put anything too long. But just tell us where you met. How old is your wife, and where did you guys meet? Okay, so he says Crystal is 30 and they met in Miami. Okay. Alright, okay, in Miami. I was kind of more asking like where physically did y'all meet? Like what location were y'all at? I know you saying y'all was in Miami, but what y'all met in school? Y'all met at a park, you know, something like that, you know. But okay, you guys met in Miami. She's okay, guys, so Dwayne is 32, she is 30. Young couple. Real young couple. And how long have you guys been married now? Well, first, how long have you guys known each other or been dating, and then how long have you been married? Okay, so He says they met at Coral Reef Senior High, and they ended up in the same church. How about that? Ended up in the same church. All right, cool. And they've known each other since 2004. Awesome. And how long have you guys been married? Okay. Started dating in 2005. Okay. Seven years. All right. Wow. 7 years married. Man, it's been that long. 7 years. Boy, time flies, man. Wow. 7 years. Okay. Cool, man. That's cool. That's what's up. So, we talked about, you know, that level of commitment that sometimes can either scare people off or make people want to go forward even harder in relationships. So, can you tell us, like, how did you know Crystal was the one? Like, how did you know, like, that was it? Like, after her, I ain't looking no more. You know what I mean? This is it. I'm committed. This is what I'm going for. Like, what? Give us an idea of how did you know? Yeah, I gotta definitely get the technique on how to bring the other video in, and if anybody got any insight on that, man, y'all help a brother out, man. Y'all let me know so that for episode 3 we'll have that down pat. All right, so Dwayne says when I met her, it was completely organic. I fell in love with her character and who she was as a person. I knew then that I wanted to explore, and when I did, she was all I wanted. All right. She was all he wanted. Wow. So he fell in love with her character. I like that. I like how he said he fell in love with her character. Let me just touch on that for a second, because initially when we meet somebody, we don't know really their whole character yet. So a lot of times we can get caught up in the physical appearance, but he didn't really know for sure that that's who he wanted until he observed her character. And you know, the thing about it is that character can either make or break a relationship. Like, your character can have your significant other feeling like, I want to be around this type of person forever. Or they could be feeling like, man, I don't know how long I could be around a person like this. You get what I'm saying? And here's the funny thing. It's not always a matter of how your character towards them. They're also observing your character towards other people. Because who you are is gonna come out. It may not come out to the person you in love with, because you in love, so you kind of holding back. You kind of, you know, reserving some of that for somebody else who you don't care as much about. But guess what? The person you in love with is watching you. They're watching how you interact with your family members. They're watching how you interact with your friends. They're watching how you interact with total strangers. And guess what? However you interact, that's your character. That's your character. The person you in love with probably just have not brought you to a point yet to show that side of you. But guess what? That's still a part of you. So guess what? As y'all be together for more years and years, and then you get to those days where they ain't as cute no more because you mad at them, now those things that you observe them doing with other people, now that same character now is being displayed towards you. Because guess what? That's who they was all along. You know what I mean? That's their character. So he said he observed her character, and that's and who she was as a person, and that's how he knew that he wanted to explore more, because he saw something in her overall and who she was as a person that attracted him. Not so much in just how she treated him, because people can put on a front for a while to get what they want, but he observed how she just acted in general towards people, and that drew him in. So yeah, man, that's what's up. Character, people, remember that. That's important in a relationship. Very important. So what was it exactly, Dwayne, let me ask you, that made you want to take it to the next step and make her your wife? What is it that, when you decided, you know what, I want to propose to her, I want her to be my wife? What was that turning point that made you feel that way? So again, for those who just may be tuning in, the topic today is relationships, and we're talking about marriage right now. And we have a guest that's chiming in, Dwayne Laward, a friend of mine, longtime friend. Been married for 7 years to his wife Crystal. They have 3 boys together, and he's giving some insight on some of the things that he experienced throughout that process. Okay, so he says, once I knew, Dwayne, I'm gonna let you know what the next question, so you can get ready to start preparing that answer. My next question for you would be, what are some of the we already know there's going to be challenges, but my next question for you would be, like, basically, what was the challenge as far as transitioning from boyfriend and girlfriend to husband and wife, and how is the married life now? Okay, so just prepare that. But for my previous question, his answer is, once I knew that she was the one, I realized after dating that I couldn't imagine my life without her, so I proposed to her so that I wouldn't have to imagine that. She was and still is everything to me. Wow. So he basically couldn't see himself with anybody else. And you know what? That's the key right there to marriage. Like, when you know in your deepest of feelings that you could just not picture yourself with anybody else, no matter how beautiful they are, no matter how handsome they are, no matter how much money they got or whatever, you couldn't picture yourself with nobody else. And when you know that, without a shadow of a doubt, you can't picture yourself with nobody else, that's when you know you might be ready to make that your wife, or be that man's wife. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he felt when he finally proposed to Crystal. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So yeah, so that last question for you, D, is about the challenges in the transition from dating to marriage, and how's things going on right now. And also too, guys, you can like this video, share this video with your peoples, tell them about the show, Chop It Up with Popp. It's going to be growing. We starting from the bottom, but we rising to the top. You know what I mean? And it's going to continue to get better and better. As you can see, I've upgraded some things already from the pilot episode. You know what I mean? And as we continue to get more and more deeper into this show, I will integrate even more things. You know what I mean? Because this is a learning process for me as well. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm stepping out on faith and just trying. You know what I mean? This is something I never did before. You know, talk to me about music, talk to me about concerts, you know, albums, performing in front of thousands of people. I all day I could do that with my eyes closed, hands tied behind my back. But you gotta grow, you gotta elevate, you gotta expand sometimes into other gifts and talents that you have, so that, you know, you can really be everything that God has called you to be. And you can't allow fear to grip you because of inexperience. You gotta try. So this is me trying, because I definitely want to step out into public speaking, and, you know, maybe even have a radio show, talk show, or maybe even a show on TV, you know, one day, you know, just talking about important things, man, that's important to me and important to, you know, most people in society. All right, so D says that some challenges were mainly from other people. Oh, okay, here we go. Being younger, everybody has an opinion or some type of insight. A lot of it was more towards caution, to not do it at the wrong time. We talked about that. There is no such thing really as the wrong time. But we knew we were ready. They knew, between them two, they were in agreement between them two. It's important. We are doing fantastic now. God has been really good to us. We have 3 beautiful children, and we are constantly enjoying life on purpose. We enjoy with absolute intention by the grace of God. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Now, here is a young couple. This is a young couple. We got some people that's still like in their 40s and 50s, still, you know, tiptoeing in this thing, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and still undecided and all this stuff. But, you know, they knew at a very young age, you know, they had a commitment from the time, you know, they made a decision to be together. You know, it was all about each other. And observe how Dwayne is the one who stepped up to say, hey, you know what? I want to make this official. You know what I mean? Will you marry me? You know what I mean? He didn't have to be harassed by the woman. He said, you know, he wanted her. He wanted to be with her for the rest of his life. He couldn't imagine being with nobody else. You know what I mean? And when you got that feeling about somebody, that's a key indication. When you got doubts and reservations, you may need to push the brakes a little bit. When you got all these doubts and concerns in your mind, and even in the midst of everybody that was saying negative things and trying to scare them, they still stayed committed to what they knew in their heart, what they wanted with each other. You know what I mean? And they couldn't see themselves with anybody else. And they're living proof of that now, because they're still married 7 years later. 7 years later, 3 boys, man, awesome, handsome boys, talented, gifted boys. Man, it's a beautiful thing. It's an honor, you know, to be friends with this dude. You know what I mean? We've actually done music together too. We done shows together. He's a great musician. He probably don't want to tell y'all, but he's a great musician. He's awesome on the keys. He also produces too. So, you know what I mean? D Wayne, man, y'all see his link right there. Y'all follow him. Send him a friend request. Great brother to know. Very wise dude, man, on a lot of topics. This just one, but he got a lot of insight. A very wise young man, and it's an honor to know him. He's helped me throughout my journey in tremendous ways that he would still to this day never know. I really looked up to him a lot in my growth process, you know, to be the man that I am now, because I watched him when I was still, you know, thugging and loving, but I watched what it looked like to be a man of integrity, and you know what I mean, and it just really blessed me to be around him and learn from him. So thank you, Dwayne, for being on the show. I know we had some technical difficulties. I couldn't get you on video, but I thank you for taking the time to actually type your your responses. I'm definitely going to be working on that for the next show, so we can make sure that our guests are able to chime in via video. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break for our sponsors, and let y'all know about some of our sponsors that we have today. Sponsoring this episode 2 of Chop It Up with Popp. All right, this episode one is brought to you by Chad's Mobile Service. Chad's Mobile Service. If you're looking for a good mechanic, this guy will come to you. He has worked on my vehicle before. He is a great mechanic. I highly recommend him. I'm not just saying that because he's a sponsor. I'm telling you the truth. He is definitely a good mechanic, and if you don't want to have to go through the hustle and bustle of going to a mechanic shop, you can just call him, make an appointment, and he will come right to you. He has everything in his van there, and he can take care of you. And his prices are really good, really good prices. So definitely holler at him if you need a mobile mechanic in the South Florida area. His number is 786-357-8944. His name is Chad. Again, that's Chad's Mobile Service. Chad's Mobile Service. All right. Also, another sponsor that I want to let you guys know about is Special Touch. Hold on, where's Special Touch at? Okay, hold on, where's my Special Touch? All right. Okay, well, I don't know where Special Touch at, but Special Touch. Let me see if I can bring Special Touch to the forefront. Okay. So Special Touch. I don't have the graphic. I apologize, but Special Touch is basically a mobile car wash service. It's a mobile car wash service. The owner's name is Marco, and he can definitely get at you for that car wash. If you need somebody to come to you to wash your car, you can hit him up. I'm gonna shoot y'all his number. I had the graphic. I apologize for that. Special Touch, but I'm gonna give y'all his info now. His number is 786-290-7181. That's Special Touch Services. He actually also does paint and pressure cleaning, mobile detailing, pickup and delivery. All right, and also mobile car wash. His name is Marco. He goes by Marco Polo. You can call him at 786-290-7181 in the South Florida area. All right, thank you. All right, so thank everybody for continuing to tune in. We actually finna continue to talk about relationships, but we're gonna talk about relationships from another perspective, though. We're gonna talk about relationships from the perspective of business. Okay, business relationships. So with business relationships, what is the key to having a successful business relationship? Well, one of those keys I can tell you is basically being like-minded. I can tell you being like-minded is very important, because when you're like-minded, you're able to flow together. Oh, look, there we go. I got there we go, y'all. I got them up. See, I figured it out. Okay, so there we go. That's Special Touch right there, y'all. That's Special Touch Services right there. You see it, Marco Polo. Okay, paint and pressure cleaning, mobile detailing. All right, 786-290-7181. All right, there we go. Thank you. All right, so like being like-minded. Being like-minded is key, because every business should have a vision. Every business should have a vision. So there shouldn't be multiple visions. There should be one vision for the business. So if you got a vision and your partner got a different vision, then you're divided. you're divided. You cannot be on the same page if you're looking at you're following two different visions. So I think one way to help that dynamic, to be able to make sure that as business partners or being in a business relationship, that there is no division, that you make it clear in the beginning of the relationship what is the duties and what is the level of authority that each person have. You know what I mean? Because that has to be established in the beginning so that everything you do can flow through that blueprint. Because if you're just winging it and nobody really knows who's really has the authority to make what decisions, then it's always going to be a constantly back and forth. And then you need to figure out a way to decide how will the final decision be made. That has to be determined in the beginning as well, because you have to know that if there is a standstill where you're not agreeing, what will determine the final decision. And once that's already established before there is a decision to be made, then all you have to do is resort to that blueprint that you guys put in place of how decisions are to be made, and then it's respected because you both agreed upon it, that's how you would make decisions, and that will avoid a lot of conflict. Another thing I would say is trust. You got to be able to trust this person, because a business is like a baby. You know what I mean? It's a child, and you're the parents. You and your partners, you're the parents. So if you as the parent, as one parent, are not, if a parent is not trustworthy, it's like you don't even want to leave the child in their hands, because you don't know how they're going to handle it or what they're going to do. Excuse me. So you got to be able to trust the individual. And sometimes the person that you're doing business with, you may not really know them like that. And that's where you really got to have discernment, because you may not have known them long enough to really know if you can trust them. But what you have to do is sort of like what Dwayne was saying about when he met Crystal. He observed her character, not just her character with him, but her character in general as a person. And I think that that's one way to be able to know if you have a good business partner, is to observe their character, even outside of business. Observe their character as a person. How do they interact with other people that they're dealing with? How do they interact with other people they're doing business with? How do they interact with their friends? How do they interact with as a consumer dealing with another business? Like, you got to observe these things, because these are the things that you are bringing now into the fold. You bringing that character into your business. So that person now represents that business, whoever they are, you know. So and wherever they are. So character is a big important part of it. I think that those are the two key elements, is being like-minded, finding like-minded individuals concerning whatever the endeavor is. Also having a blueprint and a format in place of decision making, how that's going to be done, and trust. And then also too, you want the person have to be bringing something to the table. Like, if you got a certain skill set, you really don't need another person. So at first, with that same skill set, you need somebody that's going to add to your skill set and bring in skill sets that you don't have. I'm just saying, if you are the founder of the business, you need to bring in people that have a skill set that you don't have, to kind of complement your strengths. You know what I mean? It's like y'all will balance each other. And then eventually, as your business grows, you do want to find somebody who has your skill set, so that they can continue doing the actual manual work, so that you can now get into more of a management mode, because now your business has grown. So, those are some things as far as business relationships that can help keep a business relationship strong. Those are things that will help a business stay grounded. Some of the things that can destroy a business is greed. Greed is something that can destroy a business. A greedy person will always be thinking about themselves, not thinking about the what's best for the business or the company. They'll be thinking about themselves, and they'll be doing everything out of I like my own status. They'll be doing everything out of, well, I guess I can. They'll be doing everything out of selfish gain. So you don't, greed is something that can definitely destroy a business. And also, lack of humility and lack of patience, because any business is going to have periods of, where things are kind of not moving as fast as you would like them to move. Let me just put it that way. But it's in those moments where character is shown, and also the, the level of patience and humility. And that's where you'll know if this is somebody that you can actually grow with for the future in business. So, yeah, that was that. So anybody got any thoughts on that as far as business is concerned? We are now to 9:30. So, right now we're in what is called the ride out. We're in the ride out session where, for the last 30 minutes. So if anybody want to chime in on anything with business, feel free. If not, we'll move on to the next subject. So I'll just give a second for anybody that want to chime in concerning that. What are your thoughts on business relationships? All right. Well, the next thing about relationships too is friendships. Friendships also need maintenance. Friendships also need rules and regulations. Friendships also need to be governed by certain principles. Now, how do you know if somebody is even your friend? How do you know if somebody is your friend? Like, that's a very loose word nowadays, friendship. But how do you know if you really have a friend? Personally, I feel like a friend is somebody that's there through thick and thin, meaning that whether you're up, whether you're down, even whether you and that person are up and down. Like, I ain't gonna say always, but I was taught a principle by one of my mentors when it came to friendship, and it was the friendship, or the strength of the friendship, or the loyalty in the friendship is not based on the other person. It's based on you. It's based on a decision that you made to be friends with that person. You made a decision to be friends with that person. It was not something that they asked you to do. They didn't ask you, to be my friend, and give you like a breakdown of, what the job entailed and all that, and then you accepted. No, you made a decision to make this person your friend. So with that decision, you are now accountable to your vow, your decision to be friends with that person. So, nobody goes into a relationship saying, yeah, I'm going to be your friend as long as you don't upset me, as long as you don't do anything wrong to me, as long as you don't make me mad, blah, blah, blah. I'll be your friend as long as you do. No, nobody goes into a relationship with all of those conditions. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't go through the friendship with those conditions. My thing is, like, if I say I'm your friend, I'm your friend. If you doing me wrong, you dogging me out, you treating me bad, dog, you know what? I'm going to give you your space and let you do your thing. But guess what? I made a decision to be your friend. I made a decision to, make that commitment with you. You know what I mean? It's like a brotherhood to me. So, like, I'm there for you. Even if you fall flat on your face after you done diss me, you done tried me, I'm going to still be there to help you get up. Because that's what true friendship is. You know what I mean? True friendship is just understanding that everybody is not always going to be on their P's and Q's. Everybody ain't always going to be 100. You know what I'm saying? Some people going to be off some days. Some people going to be 75. Some people going to be 60. You feel me? And you got to be able to still be able to help them through that. You know what I'm saying? Even though, and you may be somebody that's directly affected by that. You get what I'm saying? So, if I'm your friend, I'm your friend. You dig? That's how it is with me. And sometimes I get accused of being too forgiving and giving too many chances. But my thing is, I just feel like I should treat people the way I want to be treated. If I'm having an off day and I'm doing my friends dirty, or I'm being nasty, or I'm not being right by one of my friends, I want some grace. I want some mercy, you know what I'm saying, at some point. I want forgiveness, you feel me? So it's like, I give that because I know one day I might be off. I might not be 100% on my game. I might not be, you know, the best friend, you know, to that person at that moment. But then when I get past that, I get over it and I come to my senses, I would hope that my friend is still there. So that's what I try to be for my friends, you feel me? So I got friends that, you know, we always been good. We really ain't never really had no beef or no issues. And I have friends that to this day, you know, man, it's a little uneasiness right there, you feel me? But not on my end, because I'm still there for them. I'm there for them. I can't think of nobody I've written off. I can't think of not one person in my life, honestly, being honest with you. I can't think of nobody that I have just said, I'm done with. I wrote them off. I'm through with them. I ain't messing with them no more. None of that. Nobody. Every last one of my homies, every last one of my partners, anything, I'm there, dog. And I'll show up like they ain't never do nothing to me, dog. Because, like, it don't even matter because it's not about them. It's about who I am as a person. It's about my character. You get what I'm saying? It's about my commitment to that friendship. You dig? So, you know, I think friendships are all about how you go into the friendship, and the commitment you make off rip from the beginning of that friendship is what will sustain it, because there's going to be trials and tribulations throughout the friendship. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how it is with me for friendship. That's why even on social media, with social media friends, Facebook friends or whatever, I don't delete people. I do not delete people. I don't do that stuff. I don't block. I don't do none of that stuff. You know why? Because to me, that's petty. That's childish. It's like I feel like I'm depriving you of something that could actually help you overcome that flaw or that, you know, dark area in your character, that maybe something I post or something I say or something that's going on my page could help you through that. It could help you overcome that. You know what I'm saying? You may be saying some stuff sideways that ain't cool, that you shouldn't be saying, and I don't like it, but at the same time, you know, that's how you feeling that day. That don't mean that you're going to be like that every day. You know what I'm saying? And then two, you know, how can I extend my hand of grace to you if I cut you off? You're not even there for me to extend the hand to. You get what I'm saying? It's like we always quick to say don't judge a person, but we'll delete somebody in a heartbeat. To me, that's judging the person. You delete them in a heartbeat. You just judge them. You know what I'm saying? They not even worthy of being on your friends list. Like, come on, man. People gonna have moments. People gonna have episodes. You feel me? Give people a break. Give people grace. Give people mercy. The same kind of grace and mercy you want. You feel me? That's the reality of it. You know, that's my take on friendship. Yeah. So, anybody want to chime in on that, feel free. I know, you know, everybody has the opportunity to give their opinion on this show. You know, this is not all about what I think and what I feel. I really like to hear how others feel about, you know, the topics that we discuss, because I believe everybody has a voice and everybody's voice should be heard. In the meantime, I'm going to go to another one of the our sponsors. I want to definitely let you know that this is definitely sponsored too, again, by Ice Squad Entertainment. Right now there's a single out from Ice Squad. It's called Go Live. Go Live is the new single from Ice Squad. It's now available on all digital platforms. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, Apple Music, you name it. It's everywhere. It's called Go Live. It's a real hot club banger. This is my group, Ice Squad. Consists of Ramel the Youngster, Blaze the Lion, and myself, Popp the Ripper. It's our latest record that we dropped. You can find it on iSquadENT.com as well. Definitely check it out. I think you'll love it. You'll definitely be dancing and juking. It's a real hype record. I think you guys will love it. It's available on all your digital platforms. All right, y'all can check that out. Ice Squad, Go Live. All right. Also, too, available is the album Metamorphosis, which was released in 2016 by the group Ice Squad. It's a full album available on all your digital outlets as well. iTunes, it's everywhere. YouTube, wherever you just put in Metamorphosis or Ice Squad, and you'll find it. Amazon, Tidal, Spotify, you name it. You can find Ice Squad Metamorphosis album available. All right, y'all check that out. Some real hip hop right there, man. If you want that real, you don't like that mumble, you want that real, you need to get that album. You need to definitely cop that. All right, guys. So yeah, so this was a good show today. I think we're really it's really growing. We're really making improvements, and I really enjoyed the conversation today. Definitely want to thank my guest Dwayne Leward for chiming in today and touching on relationships from a personal level. You know, one thing about relationships is that what I want to close with is that relationships are a key element of being in humanity. It's a key element to our design as humans. When God created humanity, He never created us to do life alone. Relationships are a part of God's design. Everywhere throughout the Bible you can see relationships being highlighted. Jesus, who was actually the Son of God, God in the flesh, who didn't really technically need anybody's help, had relationships. He had his disciples. He had 12 disciples. He had family. You know what I mean? He had friends. He had other people that he connected with and he associated with, which played an intricate part in him fulfilling his purpose. When God gave man the woman. It was not his idea for man to be alone, so he gave Adam Eve. You know what I mean? Relationship is key. It's a very important part of life. When you try to do life alone, you're actually shortchanging yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're shortchanging yourself because you are limiting the blessings of God in your life by trying to do life alone. Relationships are a blessing. Having other intimate relationships with other people is a blessing. When you start trying to do stuff alone, then you start isolating yourself from your purpose and your destiny, because everything that you need to do in this world is, I guarantee you, is going to involve other people. It's going to involve connecting to other people. So you cannot be a loner and think that you're going to be blessed, because it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And being a good friend to somebody is not only being a blessing to them, but it's being a blessing to yourself, because you're honoring God when you're honoring other people. In Exodus, the Bible talks about honoring your father and your mother. That's relationship right there. Children, obeying your parents. Ephesians talks about that in Ephesians chapter 6. That's relationship. You know what I mean? This is how you honor God. You honor God through relationships. So it's like, if you care about honoring God, you don't want to negate relationships. You want to try to develop as many as you can. In John chapter 15, it talks about what real friendship means. It says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for a friend. So even friendship is described and identified according to the Word of God and how God sees friendship. He sees friendship as, somebody who's willing to lay down their life for another person. That's friendship. How many people is willing to lay down their life for you? You know what I mean? Or how many people are you willing to lay your life down for? You know what I mean? That's relationship. If we miss out on that important part of life, we've actually missed out on life. Will there be bad relationships? Absolutely. But there'll also be some good ones. And the bad relationships will show you what to avoid in the good to make a relationship good. So, you know, we can't ignore relationship, folks. We need relationships. You know, if you're one of those people that feel like you don't need nobody, I'm sure you've heard that before. You probably said that before. I've said that before. But I found out really fast that that's not true. We all need somebody. I need you. You need me. We cannot do life alone. We cannot do life alone. I think social media has really allowed us to really see how real that is, because we've made interaction with other human beings like almost a recreation now, because we always on social media, and that's all about interacting with other people. So it is important. It is important. It's very important. So on this episode, I hope that somebody got something from this about relationships. Are they easy? Absolutely not. But it's an important part of life that we may never master, but I believe we can constantly grow in from day to day. And if we seek help in these areas, whether it be from talking to somebody you know, close to us about the relationships that we in, getting other insight, whether it's reading the Bible, you know, because God talks on, you know, gives us so much insight through the Word of God, through the Bible, about relationships to help us navigate them. Everything from dealing with our parents, to dealing with our spouses, to dealing with our children, to dealing with our friends, like dealing with leaders. I mean, everything, dealing with our boss on our jobs or stuff like that. Like, everything we need to know about relationships we can find in the Bible. So that's a great source to go to. There's a lot of books that have been written about relationships. One that I particularly like that I have laying around here is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I forgot who wrote that, but that's a good book that talks about the relationship dynamic between men and women. That's a really good book to read. It'll help you out a lot. Understand about love languages and, you know, how we're wired differently as male and female. You know, and that's why sometimes we clash, because of the fact that you know, we are so different. But yep. So guys, that is the show for today. So we did it, episode 2. Hey, I'm here, man. I told you I'm gonna stay committed to this thing every second and fourth Sunday. Every second and fourth Sunday. You can catch me here live and chop it up with Popp. Tell a friend, share this show with them. You know, they may like it, they may want to jump in on the next one. Also, too, you guys can always send me suggestions for topics for the next show, and your suggestion may be selected. Inbox me your suggestions, and you know, to help build up the show, you know, and make it even that much more interesting. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties with the guests, bringing them on video. I'm going to try to figure that out this week. So next show I can definitely be ready for that, because we will have more guests on the show that will be helping us to discuss these different topics and everything. I want to thank all of the sponsors. I want to thank you for you know, basically partnering with me and you know, helping me to fulfill this vision. So I definitely appreciate everybody that chimed in today. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me your questions. Of course, you can go back and watch this show again in the Chop It Up with Popp group, and you know, recap on what we talked about today. Feel free to continue to comment. I will be checking it and giving feedback on your comments. But with that being said, I think that's everything. If you guys don't mind, I'd just like to close out with a prayer, if that's cool. Can I do that? All right, cool. So let's pray. Father, right now, we thank you, God, for relationships. We thank you for all the people that you have brought into our lives, Lord. Even those who came in and we feel like they messed it up, God. If anything, Father, we got a lesson out of it, a life lesson. So we thank you for that. Lord, we ask that you will help us to become better individuals in the relationships that we currently have, whether with our significant other, our spouse, our friends, or even our business partners. Help us to have your mindset concerning these relationships. Help us to have better character in these relationships, that we may be an example to the person that we're in a relationship with, you know, and they may reciprocate what we're giving out, God, because we're setting a proper example. Help us, God. Help us bring these things to our remembrance, God, that we discussed tonight, that may come up in a situation that we experienced this week. Help us to remember some of these things, that we may be able to apply them in our relationships and make them even that much stronger. Father, I pray for every single person, Father God, that was watching this show tonight, God, and I ask, Father God, that you will just pour out your blessings upon them in their relationships, God. Bring them to a greater understanding of relationships and how important it is to you for us to be in relationships, and to be even in relationship with you, Lord, because that's where all relationships, healthy relationships, start from, our relationship with you. So help us, God, to even grow in that area in our relationship with you. And I thank you, God, for just allowing me to have the courage to step out and to have this show. And I just pray that it helps somebody today, and may we continue to have many more like this, Father. So we give you all glory, honor, and praise. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen. All right, guys, so that's the show for tonight. I thank you guys for tuning in. I look forward to the next episode, episode 3. Who knows what the topic will be? We shall see. Hey, because I'm an MC, so that's how I rhyme. You know, I just talk like everything I talk about is a rhyme somehow. All right, yeah, no doubt. So peace and love, man. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good night. This was Chop It Up with Popp. I am your host, Lamont, Popp Nanton. I see y'all next time. God bless.